Mielle Organics is officially canceled, and I'm not here for it. Hey Curlfriends, and welcome to another episode of FNHROCKS, and I'm your curl-friendly lawyer, Lavinia Latham. Now, usually, I go into spiel about go ahead, subscribe, like this video if, you're feeling it, all that kind of jazz. But today I'm just really not in the mood for any of that. You see, this situation here has been weighing on me for a while, and I felt that I would be remiss if I didn't come out and say something about it. For those of you guys who don't know FNHROCKS, for those of you guys who might be watching this and, critiquing it and saying, well, maybe she's a maven or maybe she's a Mielle Organics crazy fan or anything like that. No, none of that. Mielle Organics didn't come to me to make this video. Mielle Organics did not come to me to, put information out there that would help this situation. This is literally coming from a place of love for the Black community. It's coming from a place of I'm tired of seeing our own rip down our own. It's also coming from a place of being an anti-Black human rights lawyer and seeing these types of situations repeat itself over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so I just felt the need to really just pop on here, share some thoughts. None of this is legal advice, obviously. It's just an opinion. None of it is meant to sway anybody's opinion, either left or right. None of this is meant to, work in the favor of Mielle Organics in the sense like, oh, I'm here to create this video and to, support Mielle Organics, even though Mielle Organics has done some wrong. No, this video really is meant to strengthen the Black community and to bring us together closer than we ever were before. So let's just jump on into this, I guess, opinion-based piece. So number one, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there has been some back and forth between the CEO of Mielle Organics. She's another Black woman. Her name is Monique Rodriguez, and there's some allegations that she has been engaged in unfair play against another YouTuber for some unsavory comments that were made about her brand new line. And I mean, let's put ourselves into the seats of who we are, which is number one, Black women. And if you're watching this video, chances are likely that you are likely a content creator, you're likely an entrepreneur, you're likely a very intelligent Black woman, can come out of her own perspectives and to try to understand other competing perspectives. So let's put on that hat. Let's put on that hat of I'm trying to understand the other side with the view of correcting and coming together as one. So some of the allegations that were made, and I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments if I don't catch them all. And of course, this is a fluid conversation. It's a debate. And we're here to talk back and forth about what it is that's happening. So one of the allegations that I'd like to address is the fact that the product was gimmicky. While that may be true, a gimmicky product, that's true. I would agree with those who are upset with the product that, perhaps the product wasn't the best of products, or perhaps to some they didn't like the product, or, the rice water line didn't necessarily have rice water in it, and therefore why is it called a rice water line? Totally get that. That's totally fair. And, we should be holding our Black businesses to high standards of accountability. What we should not be doing, however, is ripping our Black businesses down when they make mistakes. Because, we're humans behind all of these large businesses, whether it's a huge business or a small business or a medium-sized business, it's still human beings. It's still people who can do wrong. So one of the things that we really have to ask ourselves, why are we so quick to cancel Black businesses? Why are we so quick to cancel Black people? Do we ourselves wish to be canceled? I know for me personally, I don't wish to be canceled by every little mistake that I make. I don't wish to be held to a higher standard that is not applied or applicable to anybody else except for me because my skin just happens to be Black. I don't wish to be held to a standard that is unforgiving of any mistakes, period. That is not what I wish for myself. Therefore, I'm not willing to hold others to that level of a standard. Kind of bringing an example into this to further solidify my point. There have been numerous examples of a lot of these beauty supply stores that are Asian run that have mistreated the Black community and I'm talking on a macro level on numerous occasions. And yet still we find ourselves in there purchasing eyelashes, purchasing wigs, purchasing hair products. Oh, and if something bad happens, we might come on YouTube, we might come on Instagram, we might rant, rave, and it's kind of done. at the end of the day, everyone's still going back to those places of businesses, everyone's still patronizing it, everyone's still contributing their Black dollars. Now, when a Black woman does it, and I want to be very intentional about saying when a Black woman does it, now that's when we want to cancel, and that's when we come for our own. And we really have to ask ourselves, why are we so quick to do that? Why are we so quick to ignore all the good that has been done? And in this scenario, a lot of good has been done. I mean, I've been one of the people who've really enjoyed a lot of solid advice coming out of Monique Rodriguez with her Secret Sauce to Success Academy, the podcast. There are some Mielle Organics products that I don't necessarily like. However, there are some that I really like as well. And so for that reason, I don't think it's necessary to really fault somebody to the point of canceling them. I think that that's a little bit extreme. And I think in anything, the same attitude, the same standard, the same result and consequence that we would apply to any other business, we need to learn to apply that to our own. So returning back to the Asian company, if an Asian company had problematic customer service, I've been to Asian beauty supply stores where they literally have someone's face plastered all over the front entrance of their store because they allegedly stole something. Mind you, nothing has been proven in court. Mind you, we do operate, at least here in Canada, under the legal standard of innocence until proven guilty. However, that individual's face, likeness, and entire image is just out there on display, on blast for anyone who comes into the store to see. That would be a reason to cancel in my books. I mean, Ms. Lynn has asserted that she feels that she's been harassed. She feels that Monique Rodriguez's husband, Melvin Rodriguez, he came for her particularly and called her directly and accessed her personal information without really having the grounds to do so, no authority to do so rather. And that's problematic. I'm not here to excuse or validate any of that. I do believe that there is bad behavior on both parts. It does take two to tango on both parts. And so for that reason, it also takes two people to come together and to correct it. Now, I also understand that to this point, there's actually been a company statement. So a public apology has been made on the Mielle Organics website. And there also has been a commitment to hiring the proper professional who can deal with global public relations. I can't remember off the top of my head what that particular exact name or title is, but I do know that the company has taken some time to reflect on the wrongs that they have done, to take accountability for the wrongs that they have done, and to move in a positive direction forward. That's all we can really ask. I mean, my message to the Black community, so the Black female community at large, would be a lot different than it is right now if no accountability was being taken. If it was a situation where, as we call it in the West Indies, wrong and strong, and Monique Rodriguez and the rest of the Mielle Organics camp was coming out here and blasting people left, right, and center and not apologizing for any actions and just being, like I said, wrong and strong, then of course I'd be like, yeah, that's disrespectful, that's unprofessional, that's not right, and that needs to be addressed. However, it doesn't seem that that's the situation just yet. I think right now, the stage that we're at is truly to see what is Mielle Organics going to do moving forward from this entire issue. How is Mielle Organics going to meet their public commitment to treat Black women and influencers and people who have opinions that are outside of their own differently? What is Monique Rodriguez and the rest of the Mielle Organics team going to do to meet that demand? I think that's a better question. That's a better step forward than saying we're just going to cancel. And if you're still not convinced at this point that this entire situation needs a little bit further analysis, a little bit more patience, for lack of a better term, then think about it as it might apply to yourself. So many of you who are watching Find Natural Hair Rocks right now are content creators yourselves. You might be a beauty business entrepreneur. You might be somebody who is in a professional capacity. You occupy a professional space. How would you like it if you made a mistake? And I know we've all made mistakes because none of us are God. None of us are perfect beings. We all walk and talk and make mistakes every day. And the hope is is to fail forward. So how would you, being an individual who also makes mistakes, want to be treated when you ultimately make that misstep? How would you want to be treated? If we ask ourselves that question and we come up with an answer that is similar to the way in which the Black community right now is treating Mielle Organics and not giving the opportunity to change, not giving the opportunity to come back better and stronger, if you are in alignment with that treatment, then yes, proceed. However, if the shoe were flipped, now Monique Rodriguez's situation is your situation. You snap, crackle, popped. You shouldn't have snap, crackle, popped in public, and you did. And now everybody wants to cancel you. Would you want to be the person who's canceled after how many years and hard work and blood, sweat, and tears of building something from the ground up? Would you want to be canceled? I leave that question right there. I'd love for you guys to let me know in the comment box below how that would make you feel and how you would want to be treated in that type of a situation. The other thing that I wanted to kind of bring up was the assertions that, well, where was Mielle Organics with the whole George Floyd thing? And how come Monique Rodriguez only used her personal account to talk about the, Black Lives Matters issues, George Floyd, when all of social media was going crazy about like Black Lives Matter, where was Mielle Organics in terms of a Black-owned business? I take issue with the whole idea of telling people how to grieve. So the loss of George Floyd, the blatant disregard for Black lives on a global level that sparked these protests globally, you can't tell people how to grieve, especially Black people, because when you see a Black man lying on the ground in what is the equivalent of a modern day lynching, you cannot tell people how to respond to that. Some people will cry, some people will fight, some people will slow right down, some people will cage right up and close in and not want to deal with anybody or anything. You can't tell people how to deal. And so I can understand from a business perspective not wanting to take that type of an approach with a business, because when you run a business, your business is actually a separate entity. Mielle Organics is a legal corporation. A legal corporation is an entity in and of itself. And so as an entity in and of itself, that legal corporation cannot necessarily operate in the same way that one would operate on their own personal level. So for me, seeing that decision, I can understand why a company headed by a Black woman might not necessarily take a more, public approach to the suffering and to the Black Lives Matters movement with the actual brand itself. Now, I know you guys are gonna come for me in the comment box below, and again, that's fine. This is a debate. This is an open space conversation, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the discussions. I'm here for, people who might not hold the same opinions as myself. That is what we do as intelligent Black women. We hold each other accountable to our actions, and we hope to come to a better place of understanding and a place whereby we are stronger together, right? So the other piece that I kind of wanted to address with the whole George Floyd situation and, the way in which Mielle Organics dealt with that, we have to remember that this is a Black-owned business. A Black-owned business, which inherently, I would hope, has interests that are in alignment with their own Blackness. Obviously, there are individuals out there who, despite their Black skin, are not necessarily acting in the interest of Black people. I don't think that's the case with Mielle Organics. And the reason I don't think that's the case with Mielle Organics is because I've been privy and witness to all of the different giveaways that they do. They have various promotions and marketing and all kinds of things where not only do they contribute actual dollars, like thousands of dollars. I think the last time I saw one was like $10,000 to like a family in need. They also go out there to the community and they are on the ground all the time. I saw them with my own two eyes. I did have the opportunity to very briefly meet the Mielle Organics team out in New Orleans last year at Essence Fest. And I saw for myself that, engaging with this particular brand was an experience that I've never experienced with any other brand. That experience was an experience amongst a slew of Black women. Every single person in there was either a Black woman or a Black man. So for people to come and say, oh, Mielle Organics is not for Black women, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. I've seen differently from my own opinion, and we can talk about it. I'm open to difference of opinions, but I'm here to say that for me personally, my opinion, where I stand, I've seen differently. I can't speak for other people's experiences, but I can speak for my own. The other piece that I wanted to address, especially as it relates to the Mielle Organics situation, we have to understand that there is a place for different types of advocacy. There is a place for different types of good work to be done within this area. So it is not a strategy for all of us, the entire Black community, to jump on Instagram and to all be doing the same thing. It's just not. We need our Black business owners that bring Black dollars and pump them back into the Black community. We need Black professionals. We need Black influencers. We need Black models. We need Black everything. We need it, and there's a place for it all. So to say that, you know, this person's form of advocacy isn't as good as this person's form of advocacy, or this person wasn't doing enough in terms of, you know, fighting the good fight as opposed to this person, I'm not really here for that either. So you guys, I mean, I don't want this video to be too long, because I have noticed that with the algorithm and with, you know, viewership and whatnot, people tend to kind of, you know, tune out after a while, and I really want this video to be a source, a beacon of communication, so that we can all, you know, collaboratively come back together as one. Because this whole, we're gonna burn our own Black business down, we already had a burning of Black businesses on a macro level back in the early 1900s with, you know, the slaughtering of how many Black communities. And that was done from the outside in. We don't need to be slaughtering our own communities. We really don't. What we need to be doing is spending our time to understand each other, to love each other, and to move forward together, stronger together. I'm gonna leave that there. If you guys are enjoying this commentary and you want to be a part of the discussion, definitely leave your comments down below, because I will be answering every last one of them. Also, go ahead and like this video. This is a brand new channel that is dedicated to all things natural hair, specifically fine natural hair, entrepreneurship, business, and beauty. And so if those are things that you enjoy and you want to see more, then definitely go ahead and hit up that like button, hit up that subscribe button. I post new videos 3 times a week, generally Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, around approximately 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks again, and if you got all the way to the bottom of this video, put in the comment box below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Mwah.